Alright. It's finally time, isn't it? Hello, and welcome to Let's Play Touhou 15 Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom. This game is a thing. It's a game that you either really love or you really hate. It's quite the controversial game, if anything. Zune tried a lot of weird things in this game, so we'll definitely see what those are soon enough. This game is the latest game in the series. It's Touhou 15. It came out 2015, not too long ago. And yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to be too negative in this episode. I had not planned on being that way, although I can't guarantee how I'll react about all of this. I mean, this game is, well, it's my least favorite game. I'll just put that out there. And the reason, I'll go fully in depth later, in a later episode. This is well, it's gonna be at least 3 episodes. I might do a 4th episode though, I'm not entirely sure yet. Anyway, this game has 2 modes: Pointdevice and Legacy mode. In Pointdevice mode, you're basically given infinite lives. Well, the whole game itself is separated by like chapters. Like every stage section and every boss non-spell and spell is its own quote-unquote chapter. Like, and if you die on a chapter in Pointdevice, you just restart that chapter till you beat it. So yeah, essentially this mode forces you to do a no-miss clear. And it can be saved, so you can leave the game and come back and continue to your Pointdevice save file. So it's basically, apparently, supposed to be like, I want to be the guy. It's a very strange system, and I'll definitely say it's unique. It's really more of a practice mode, if anything, because most of what people use this mode for is actually practice. Although, I guess, if you just want to kind of try out this game and not take it too seriously, Pointdevice would be the way to go. Because this game is hard. It is mega hard. I don't even have to stress that. It's a pretty difficult game. There's also the Legacy mode, which is, Legacy mode is basically like your normal Touhou mode. Like, you get standard lives, 1 CC, game over. You can die on any chapter, I guess. Just this standard. We'll be doing an episode for Pointdevice and an episode for Legacy mode. We'll be doing them in separate episodes, and how strange. During the DDC episode, I had this weird feeling in Stage 5, where I got all weird and lightheaded. I'm starting to get that again for some reason. I wonder if it has something to do with me talking for long periods of time and getting lightheaded, because I just got out of a Discord call that was pretty long, so... Anyway, it's okay. If I start feeling bad, I'll scrap this recording and you won't even be watching this anyway. Or, since this is Pointdevice mode, I can always stop and then continue later. Also, before we begin, I want to clarify, I was doing a series before called Let's Decipher. I stopped that series because, I got a little demotivated by it because I had recorded Stage 2 and my audio wasn't recording, so I just kind of got really upset by that, and I didn't want to redo it because I had already done all the things like watching replays and learning, and you can't just learn something when you can't just relearn something you just learned, so that kind of upset me. And also, I figured it was kind of pointless considering at the point I was going to continue, we were getting close to LoLK anyway, and if I was going to play through Pointdevice in an LP, there's no reason to do another series just for this game. I do want to say though is that this is my least practiced and least played game, which is probably why I'm so bad at it, despite it being so hard. So, I don't necessarily understand how to consistently do everything in this game. So this LP isn't really going to be as informative as my other ones. I'm just going to forewarn you. Though I can't necessarily say that I want to take the time to really learn this game that much more, unless RB can convince me that this is a good game. Honestly, RB should do, if you're well, you will be watching this, but RB, you should do like a commentated, it doesn't have to be voiced, but like a commentated run, maybe with annotations or something, and just say general strats about everything, because that'd be really interesting to watch, because I really don't know how to play this game at all. So we're doing Pointdevice, we're doing Lunatic, and, okay. What? Please do not eat. Hold on. I've never actually read the, this is the English patch, yes, so this difficulty should be easy to chew. A nice amount of firmness. That comment can be interpreted weirdly. So firm that your jaw will get tired. Please do not eat. Okay, soon. There are characters in this game. Yes, there's characters. There's Reimu, there's Marissa, and there's Sane. And Raisin. Yeah, Raisin of all people. So who am I gonna be going with? I'm gonna be going as Raisin. Poor Marissa getting the short end of the stick. Raisin's pretty good for Pointdevice. I don't know if I'll be using bombs or not. Probably not, but if this episode lasts 10 million years, I might have to use bombs. We'll see. So, yeah, you can see the lives have been disabled because it's Pointdevice. So, yeah, I have to no miss. If I die, which you'll probably see soon because this game is easy to die in, I'll have to restart the section that I died at and play it over and over again until I beat it without dying. And since I'm not doing bombs, it's basically I have to capture everything. So it's like an LNN, but with like infinite tries on every part of the game. So not really. So where to begin? As you can see right off the bat, the stage, even stage 1, is pretty chaotic. This game is very, very busy on the stages because, well, for a game that has Pointdevice mode, you'd need the game to be balanced around it. So the game would have to be hard. So a lot of the stages have weird things that you need to learn. The bosses have really hard patterns, and a lot of them with tricks in it. It's quite the game. I'm not even talking about the game, am I? Well, I mean, I don't know much to say about this non-spell. I mean, it's just not being in the middle when the things come at you. You can graze these. Oh, actually, it's stage 1, isn't it? I'm supposed to talk about the mechanics. My bad. So the mechanics, I've already talked about the Pointdevice, the whole thing about restarting. So after every chapter, you'll get awarded based on, okay, I just died there, so I can continue back to that part where I died at. Grazing is a thing in this game, obviously, and with the grazing, basically, to get resources, you only get life pieces in Legacy and bomb pieces in Pointdevice. So to get the bomb pieces or life pieces, you have to get at least 200 graze, and you need a shot down. Like, there's a shot down bonus that is calculated depending on how many enemies you kill of a section, and that will, if you kill all the enemies in the section, you get a 100% shot down, and the graze you are awarded is the graze that it counts for. So if you get like 400 graze, you kill every enemy in a section, you get 400 graze for your bonus as well. And since you've gotten above 200, you get a life piece. Say I were to kill like 10% of the enemies, and I had grazed 400. I would have only been counted for 40 graze, so I wouldn't get the life, basically. So it's not how much you graze, but how much you graze in accordance to your shot down as well. This game system is actually pretty complicated to explain when I think about it. Another thing is that grazing is different in this game than any other game. So one thing about grazing is that it slows down the falling of the items. Another thing about grazing is that if you stay near a bullet, you'll continually graze it. Like, you can hug bullets to keep grazing them, which is a very strange mechanic. You'll notice that the bullets like change orange while they still like have the potential to give you graze, and then you'll hear like a bunch of clickety clackety. It's a very strange thing, and there's a border around your character that appears when you focus, or actually not even when you focus, it just appears around your character anyway, and that shows your graze area. Raisin is a pretty big one, so it's really useful. So yeah, oh no, I just died, oh no. So what is there to say? On this non-spell, God, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's aimed at you, you gotta misdirect the things while going into the lanes, but you gotta watch out for the jelly beans because they can be weird. Yeah, if you have watched my deciphering LoLK video, you know how I feel about this spell card. Pretty insane one. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but it's pretty crazy. It's pretty weird that something like this is even in a stage 1, but again, this game is really, really difficult and likes to push the boundaries, so it's pretty crazy to think that, like, apparently 4 people have no miss, no bomb this game's Lunatic, though players like RB, Everlasting, all show that you can get better at this game with a lot of practice, so I want to believe that I could get better at this game too if I were to try, though I don't know if I really want to. By the way, there's a safe spot here. Stay in the middle of her health bar ring and then just sidestep. It's easy that way. Now, the last spell is a safe spot too. You could kind of like spin around the top. I'm just going to stay at the bottom because it's easier for me that way. Just kind of chill at the bottom until it's over. And not die, hopefully. I mean, it's not that bad, though sometimes it gets weird. And that was stage 1. That was only the beginning, though. I mean, this game gets way worse. So, stage 2, aka everything that we haven't seen in the deciphering onward. So, starts off with some not aim stuff, but like stuff that's like shooting down, but like if you kill the enemies, you can like hug the bullets that they fire. I'm doing a really bad job at explaining. My head just feels weird and lightheaded, but I've already started, so I'm gonna finish what I've started. This section right here is a streaming section, so you'll want to do your streaming and try to graze too so you can get that chapter bonus. Want to be careful though, because the enemies will still fire even when they reach the bottom, case in point. If you want to restream in this section, my best advice would be to stop shooting, because if you stop shooting, like, these things fire suicide bullets, so if you stop shooting, you could do restreaming easier. It's just a thing to keep in mind. This part is really hard to get a 200 graze thing if you're not bombing, so I wouldn't even recommend really going for it unless you really know what you're doing. Mid-boss's non-spell is kind of strange. The blue stuff is always aimed directly below her position, I believe. But the balls are aimed at you, so keep that in mind. Her movement also plays quite a role in that non. If you kill her fast enough, you'll get some nice little bonus fairies to munch graze off of, which is nice. Alright, then for the final part of the stage, you'll need to do some streaming. Yeah, the stage 2 is not really that interesting because so much of it is just streaming. And then again, a lot of Touhou is streaming, but this stage in particular is just a lot of heavy streaming for whatever reason, and I've already screwed myself over. Yeah, I screwed myself over the minute I decided that the minute I didn't kill those fairies. Hopefully this episode isn't too long. There's not going to be as many restarts this early on, but when we get into the later stages, you'll see a bunch of resets. So I really hope this doesn't take too long. Then again, it is Pointdevice mode, and I'm not bombing anything, so this could take a while. But hey, could be fun to watch me suffer. I mean, okay. I do over-exaggerate how much I dislike this game. Well, do I? Do I really? I mean, you're going to be hearing a lot of pointless rambling. It's my specialty, rambling, but I mean, considering I'll be doing a lot of resets, though, be a lot of stuff to fill in. I'll have to have a lot of weird commentary to fill in the gaps. I'm wondering why I'm struggling with this part so it's because I'm used to Reimu, so I need to get used to doing it as someone that's not Reimu, which means actually learning how to do things properly. I think I get the gist though. I just gotta kill these two middle fairies, so I gotta be in the middle when they appear. I wanna restream here. I know that there's gonna be more waves of those purple fairies coming soon, but if I'm already on the side of the screen, I could just stream upward for them. Yeah, that works. For this part, I know you want to kill that one on the left first, then kill the right, and then kill the enemies on the right. And then you'll want to kill this fairy here, and then just die, apparently. What the hell? Okay, maybe that's not what you're supposed to do. Like I said, this game is my least played, so I don't have a lot of knowledge. Okay, I guess if you kill both fairies, it's a lot easier. No duh. Alright, now for our boss. It is apparently another moon rabbit. Yeah, there's a lot of moon rabbits in this game. It's Ringo. She's got some pretty hectic nons. This one is just kind of like learn the pattern. I think it's static, but I don't know. I haven't played this enough to make that conclusion. This spell is it's clearly a pattern that's like very like fixed, but it depends on like how she fires it and where she moves, and I think there's some weird overlaps there too that can get you. This non-spell is either micro or macro dodging. You'll just have to determine if you'll have to micro or macro. It depends on her movement. Like this wave, for example, that was a macro wave. If it looks like it's too much to like do a whole macro, then you'll want to just micro. Like here. I'm not doing a very good demonstration, but at least this is Pointdevice, so I can just keep retrying. Hopefully, if I get all the explanations done during Pointdevice, it'll ease up my commentary during the Legacy run, so I can focus more on actually surviving, because LoLK is not a game that I can consistently no-bomb. I could very well have multiple takes to be able to beat it, but then again, I had multiple takes on DDC Reimu B, and that wasn't so bad, so I think it'll be fine. Alright, I didn't have to do any microing that time. This spell is amazing for Grays, by the way. The way I do it is I like to try to avoid dodging this in the center if I can. Like, the purple waves overlap in the center, so obviously I'd like to dodge them in the sides, and then I'll do some damage in the middle before retreating to the sides, of course, because I have to finish off the attack. But yeah. The third non is her easiest non by far. I mean, the red gaps are pretty straightforward. There is aimed blue stuff, but I mean, okay, I did die there, but you can either go left or right. I mean, it doesn't really matter which direction you go in. It's probably easier to start going left and then go right afterward. Yeah, because the gaps are a lot clearer. I was kind of doing it in the reverse direction, so I had a bit of trouble there, but yeah, it's fine. This last spell is not fine though. Fuck this. It was even worse in the trial of this game because it was full glow bullets. It's no longer only glow bullets, but it's still pretty ridiculous. Like, it's just luck shit. I don't know if there's a consistent strat, and I don't care. Like, when I watched Gobuo go for No Miss No Bomb of this game, and he used to stream it, like, most of his attempts were just getting to this spell and resetting. Like, even a player of his caliber had a lot of trouble just getting past this spell, even decently consistent. I mean, like, really, it's just a bunch of random bullets everywhere. I mean, you're just supposed to read and hope. I mean, I don't know, it's not really clear whether I'm supposed to stay in the middle or go to the side. I would assume you want to be in the middle because you want to do damage, but even then, sometimes I even go to the side and I still die. There's too much bullets going on at the same time, and the gaps are like practically non-existent and really weird. Like, this spell must be some really complex, advanced reading because I can't wrap my head around it. It's really just that bizarre to me. You might notice that I do lose 1 power every time I die, which does suck, but hey, there could be worse costs. Essentially, what I'm having to do is I'm having to wait until I get good luck. I usually capture this as Reimu actually, but most of the time I get to this spell in Legacy mode, I just get really lucky. Cue the curse, of course. Like I couldn't stay in the middle. There was no way to stay in the middle that time. I would have had to have gone to the side, but the problem is how was I supposed to know? One criticism, well, that I'll bring up with this is that it feels like a lot of the patterns are just kind of like really weird and wonky and not play tested a lot. Or maybe they were intentionally designed this way to balance for Pointdevice. And I finally got it and then died as it was dispelling because I moved back into a bullet I had already dodged. I mean, the spell itself should only last like 2 waves, but like right there, what was I supposed to do? Ugh, just ridiculous. Like, this isn't even the worst. Like, if someone really knows how to do this, let me know. Like, what's the strategy for this? Like, is there a strat? Because I want to know. Like I mean, I'm not so close-minded that I'll just declare this game as shit and then not actually try the strat. Like, if there are ways to do these things, then I will keep an open mind. I mean, I hated DDC's guts when it came out, but I loved DDC after, so I don't think it'll happen in this case, but maybe I'll become more willing and accepting of LoLK with time. But it's quite the strange game. Okay, I think I finally got it. Yeah, I've got it. Good. I guess going to the side can help. Maybe I should always go to the side for that wave. I don't know. Anyway, we finally made it to stage 3. I like to follow the enemies for the first 2 waves and then just kind of stream the rest like this. I don't think there's a way to get a 2.0 there without bombing. Apparently we're in some kind of dream world. Or maybe we're in space, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing. I never actually properly figured this part out. I mean, it's obvious that there's some aiming component going on. And it's obvious that you want to kill, well, I'm assuming is that you want to kill those big fairies, but I don't know, they're kind of hard to kill. I think most of this will just be me figuring out how to do things on the spot. I'm also not used to playing racing. I guess you could just stream like the fairy rim to me, oh my god. Yeah, I'm just gonna try streaming it slowly. If I stream slowly enough, I bet you I can get over here pretty well. Yeah, that seems to be an effective way of dealing with this section. Just kind of stream it. I know how to do this section though. You want to start at the top left and wait for 2 waves. And then on the 3rd wave, you just want to shoot just a tiny bit, kill these fairies at the top, then stop shooting when you get back to the left, stream downward. Oh my god, the game cheated. I'm gonna say that a lot, by the way. The game cheated. It's my catchphrase in 2013. It's when you don't take accountability for your mess-ups and you just blame the game instead, even though it was still your fault. So yeah, I would say you want to go inside this wave, and then kind of shoot to go in here, and then kind of stream around like this. Something like that. Alright, what else do we got? Oh yeah, we got this mid-boss non, which is kind of weird. It's usually easy, but sometimes it's hard. This boss in general has weird non-spells. In fact, the non-spells of this boss are basically her hardest perks. The spell is basically static from what I can tell. I don't even think there's any RNG on this outside of your movement. So, okay, her movement is random, which is annoying because it can be hard to tell what to do. But I mean, well, no, I'm just saying. I'm talking for the sake of talking. What I meant to say is it can be hard to tell where she's going, so it can be hard to follow her, especially since she moves randomly. But I guess you just gotta deal. Anyway, I'm gonna try that same technique for this part, just slowly streaming across the screen. See if it works. That would have worked. I just kind of fucked it up there. This episode is probably going to be way longer than an hour. Oh, man. Okay, then if that's the case, I'll just be more aggressive. It looks like this part is less dense than the part at the beginning of the stage, so it looks like following enemies is actually a lot easier now, which is good, I guess. And this part is just kind of shoot and then kind of stream. You don't have to kill all these enemies. If you're Sane, you'll be able to kill them all, but otherwise, just kind of shoot and make yourself a gap. If you don't shoot, those things will ram into you, so make sure you're shooting. There's a second wave too, but it's the same thing. They're just coming on opposite sides of the screen. Okay, now for this part, I like to just kinda do this weird thing where I like kinda shoot. Oh wait, I'm not Reimu, so it's not gonna work like that. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's a Reimu exclusive strat, isn't it? Okay, so never mind. I was gonna say I like to do this thing where I like... No, I'll just show it. I won't even bother shooting. I'll shoot the first two enemies to get full power and then stop shooting. It's not even worth it. I don't know how to do this part with Racing. I have a good strat with Reimu, which I'll showcase, but not with Racing. Oh my god. I forgot that those fairies were gonna come at the end, so... And basically this is just a streaming part, which is all aimed. The fairies are even aimed at you, so you can legitimately just stream the entire section without shooting once. There we go. Okay. Now for the boss, Doremy. I'm gonna go ahead and cut dialogue and stuff like that because I know this episode's gonna be really long, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase. This first non-spell, by the way, is insane. It's just legitimately insane. I do not know at all how you would do this consistently. If anyone knows, let me know. I really don't understand. It's not really the first wave that's that hard. It's the second one, the even waves. They're just chaos. Like, this non is just legitimate chaos. I guess one strat I like to do is I like to be on the side of the screen that's farthest from Doremy and try to luck out there, but again, luck out, like I don't know. Like, it's like there's like all these patterns like these that makes me really impressed that people actually had the tenacity to LNN this game, considering all these dumb patterns like this non-spell which can just fuck up runs. Like, it's so easy to die in this game. Anyway, the first spell is actually all of her spells are pretty easy. This first spell, you just have to do this repetitive motion again. All of her spells are just memo, which is really nice. The second non is easy if she's high on the screen and hard. Actually, all of these nons follow this same trend. If she's low on the screen, it's hell. If she's high on the screen, it's pretty easy. Alright, so... the thing, like, I don't know how to explain this in words. It's two waves that are this. I think they're very similar, but they alternate. Like, okay, I'll just kill myself and explain it. So, you see how I'm dodging through a gap here? Well, it's hard to explain. The gap of one wave will be a wall of the next wave. Oh, stop cheating, game. Stop cheating. Like, I go through a gap here, then I'll go... Ugh, I think you get the point. Oh my god. We'll probably have to start bombing during the final boss, because when I honestly think about it, this is really gonna be hell. We're gonna try not to bomb. I don't know how many retries this is gonna take. Hopefully not too many, if I can just get competent for 2 seconds. This isn't that... Okay, it is kind of a... Probably her hardest not... No, not her... What am I saying? I just got out of her hardest not spell. Anyway, the second spell card is legitimately just 360 spinning, which is a really cool spell concept. It's pretty easy though. Just position yourself in the middle every time. Because the waves are aimed around you, but they're not directly positioned in the middle by default, so you'll have to find the middle. The third non is her easiest non, but it's still no pushover. It's usually okay, but then sometimes it just decides to be really weird. Again, one wave's gap is another wave's wall. For this spell, I like to start in the intersection between Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom on the right and the enemy counter in the middle. And then I'll just kind of sight read the lasers. I've heard that you can memorize this spell, but I don't buy that because I think there's enough RNG in this spell that you couldn't do the same movements every time and do it right. But by all means, show me evidence of that, and I will believe it. I do think that there's definitely a pattern in this spell, but I'm not really so sold on the whole 100% memorization thing. I think that these lasers must definitely have random elements to them. Yeah. This is her only real hard spell card outside of her mid-boss spell. I mean, it's not even that bad. I'm just playing exceptionally bad today because of that weird lightheadedness. And I'm racing. I'm used to my hacks box. But I went with racing because I don't want to play Reimu twice in a row. It just seems kind of weird to do that. Maybe I should have just went with Reimu. It's okay. And then on this spell, I like to... It's a memorization spell, so I like to be on the Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom horizontal axis, which worked that time. The game just cheated, so it looked like it didn't work. I like to be, again, on the... I want to be around this height. And memorize a gap. I don't play this too often, so... There we go. Yeah, not too bad. Only took one retry. Oh, that's only the first 3 stages. Well, stage 4 is technically a breather unless you're Sane, so hopefully I can get through this stage relatively easy. I don't think I'll no miss no bomb because that's never gonna happen with me. Yep. See? I shake my head, honestly. So stage 4 is kind of cool because it has nice music and a nice background, but that's about all you're going to get from it. This part here is kind of weird. You want to like move a little bit to the left, a little bit more to the left, or it can be the right too, it doesn't matter. Then you want to go a little bit left, and then on the third wave, a lot left, if that makes any sense. Then for this part, it's aim stuff. You want to stream to the right, and then on the 4th wave, you want to kill the enemies on the right and then restream. On this part here, if you don't shoot, this part becomes a lot easier because if you kill these enemies, they fire a lot of bullets at you. So you can make this part easier by just not shooting. And on this part, it's more aim stuff. And then finally, you want to do this thing where like you stream from one end of the screen to the other. But be careful because it likes to do weird shit like that. Ugh. I guess I'll show you what happens if you do shoot. They just shoot lots of rice bullets. I'm not really sure how the best way to handle this particular section is. I mean, I would have assumed it's just streaming from left to right or vice versa. Yeah, that seems to be fine. The mid-boss, you need to make sure that you kill some of the yin-yangs, because if you don't, then you're basically guaranteed a wall of amulet bullets. But usually you can kill it after the first wave is over, so you can time it down to get the 200 bonus, but I never do because it's risky. There's probably some safer way of doing that, but again, I'm inexperienced with this game, so whatever way that is unbeknownst to me. I really wonder how much time has passed since I started the recording. Probably like 30 minutes or something at this rate. Like, long intro. But this game, this is a significant episode for my LP series, or significant series of my LP series, because this game it's quite something. Whether you love it or hate it, you have to admit it's quite something. By the way, this part's easy. You just have to stay still the first wave and then tap on the second wave. Yeah. And then here's a kind of a repeat of the first section, but not really. It's just streaming. You don't want the game to cheat like that. I'm not even being subtle with my whining. You just want to slowly stream across the screen, but make sure that you kill everything. You can graze to get 200 on this part, which I'm not even going to try to do because I'm racing. If you have to, you can restream this, but I try to do it in one stream, but it looks like with racing you have to do some kind of restreaming, don't you? Yeah. Oh well. Reimu makes this part a lot easier. There you go, that was the stage portion. It was a pretty short stage portion, actually. So let's go ahead and just fight our boss. Sagume! Alright, so apparently she's testing our abilities with some really weird non-spells, which I died to right off the bat. From what I can tell, basically every non-spell she has just has some degree of memorization to it. Like if you were to play this like a ton of times, you'll just eventually get so used to it that you can probably capture it every time. She has this gimmick where her yin-yangs like block your shots, but I'm racing, so I have piercing, so everything's gonna die quickly. Oh, by the way, this first non, you have to do some slow streaming, which I've already failed at. I'm so inconsistent at this game. You want to stream, but make sure you don't stream too fast. That's what I'm trying to say. And you'll just have to alternate waves left and right. Racing is pretty good at Sagume, actually. Holy hell. The second non, again, is more kind of memo. I mean, the waves themselves have a general pattern to them. You gotta be careful of those amulets. Wow, is Racing making quick work of this? On this spell, I just kind of stay in the middle and move up gradually. I bet you race. Yeah, holy Racing! Dominating! She's absolutely oh my god. Game cheated. Wow, Racing. Holy. Oh shit, I forgot. Okay. This spell, you want to safe spot it. If you go in the middle of her, like before the yin-yang start appearing, you get a safe spot. Yeah, this spell is pointless. Literally, what it's supposed to do is you're supposed to shoot and these things will fire, but you can totally safe spot this. I think Zune just rushed this so he didn't even realize that, or maybe it cannot be. I will not buy that that's an intentional safe spot. And then this spell is just laser hell. It's like 2 memorized safe spots, but I think that each wave has like a little bit of RNG to it. Is this spell completely static? I don't think it is. I think there's a tiny bit of RNG, but it's... you can get really used to it. It just lasts forever, and that's something I don't like. I wish it had less HP. But then again, the massive amounts of HP it has helps you, because in score runs you can bomb a lot with Sanae's bomb and not worry about killing it too fast. So maybe the huge health bar is a good thing. For the sake of my 3 bills. Are we only just now out of stage 4? Yep, long game is long. It's like a puzzle game, really. Except everything is just RNG, so there's no puzzle to it. Stage 5 starts off with aim stuff. And we're on the moon. We are actually on the moon, if you can believe it. Stupidity never fails me. You could stream this. Obviously, because it's aimed, so that's what you want to do. Just stream it. Careful with your restreaming. Don't be an idiot like me. Wow, that was close. Then there's more streaming. Oh god, how am I gonna... this is the hardest stage portion, this stage in the game, by the way, in terms of stage portions. So doing this as Reimu is going to be quite the thing. Racing, I mean. Reimu's, this stage is pretty easy, but Racing is a different story. Well, for this part, it's just streaming, so it shouldn't be too hard. I was just streaming too fast. Wow, when is this part gonna end? On this part, you can completely trivialize it by basically not going in between any laser waves outside of the first wave. That's not what I meant to do there, but the star fairies were being pests. They're firing from... Is it because Reimu kills these before they do anything? Wait. Why? I don't understand. Whatever. I gotta try new things because I'm not used to racing. These go to the bottom and fire below you? I never knew that. Because I never play racing or Marissa. Huh. Okay. Well, I worry that this commentary is a little lacking, but again, I don't know what to say because I'm not the most played with this game. I can tell you that this part is completely aimed at you though, and you can just stream it. Boy, is racing taking a long time to kill those. Oh hey, more streaming. I've already screwed it up because I didn't know it was coming. I do circular streaming, but it's risky because you can bump back into enemies, but it's how I do it anyway because I don't know how to do it any other way. I didn't even bump into an enemy there, I just bumped into a straight up bullet. I guess one thing is try not to stream as fast, that way you don't have to do that many rotations. You could do this most definitely without rotating, but I always rotate. Actually, you can do this in one rotation if you're slow enough, to be honest. Yeah, you don't even need 2 rotations if you're slow. And here's the hardest part of the stage. These 3 fairies are kind of bizarre. I don't even know why they're so hard, but they are. They're really hard, actually. You want to get in this area right here, away from the laser before it, like, doubles. And then there's, like, a little weird safe spot method that I'm going to do here, which might not be the most ideal method, but it's how I do it, so whatever. On this part, you're just going to have to dodge. If you're Reimu or Sanae, this part is easy because you can take care of both sides of the screen at the same time. But as Racing, you just kind of have to have your dodging reflexes. Honestly, these lasers move too fast, honestly. They shouldn't be this fast. Like, this is actually kind of ridiculous when you think about it, but hey, it is what it is. This may actually... Is this the hardest part of the stage, is Racing? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too much of a wimp. Like, these lasers are just legitimately super crazy ultra fast for no reason at all. So, really, it's pretty hard to react to these. I mean, you just kind of gotta hope they don't spawn near you, I guess. But as Reimu and Sane, this part is pretty, as I said before, it's really easy. I mean, the green waves are slower, but they're more dense, so they might even be more dangerous. Yeah, green waves are harder, because they're more dense, but I don't know what to do, really. I'll just stand still and see if it works. If it's so crazy anyway, you might as well just stand still. Aw, I want to see how long I'd last doing that. Like, really, what's the point of even moving on the yellow wave if it's so hard to react anyway? I guess on the green wave you could go to the side or something. Ah, man. What was Zune thinking? Like, did he only play as Reimu or something? Because, like, wow. I'll just unfocus and dodge in the middle and hope it works. There we go. And on this part, you'll need to hug the left wall of the screen and move through memorized gaps. Yeah, you literally have to dodge this at the top left. It's so wonky. This whole stage is really wonky, and come on. Let me have it. Just let me have it. This part is basically completely static from what I can tell. It's just memorized gaps, which I'm having trouble with because apparently when you don't play as Reimu, the game becomes 10 million times harder. Oh my god. There we go. And then the final part is just a random spam. You can kill the enemies to prevent them from spawning as much, but you're not going to be able to kill everything, not even with Sane, so you're still going to have to deal with a lot of random stars, so get your dodging caps on. Just want... let me have it. Let me have it. Oh... I just wanted to get it done first time and not have to worry about it, but I guess I'm gonna have to reset. I can never have things my way. I mean, it's a streaming section and a random dodging section at the same time. Just dodge and hope. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Now for quite the interesting boss. Yeah, this is Clownpiece. Everyone knows who she is, so let's just fight her. She's America-chan. Her non-spells are pretty crazy because, like, Zune thought it was funny to give you really tiny gaps to work with and then huge star hitboxes that are going super fast. It's so funny, right? These nons aren't actually that bad as they seem, like, especially not as Reimu, but as Racing, yeah, they're kind of annoying. Although, again, I'm admittedly not that practiced with this game, so a lot of my biases could just be me not playing this game as much as I should be, but I don't know. I never want to play this game. Like, if I ever want to play Touhou, it's like, oh, let's play PCB, or UFO, or SA, or DDC. It's like, it's never, oh, let's play LoLK. I don't know. I never get in the mood to play this game. Oh man, most people when they do Clownpiece on like Let's Plays Pointdevice, they spend like an hour. I don't want to spend an hour. I think you can see what I mean by this game being super hard though. Like, really is that hard. Way harder than USD. Way harder than UFO. Well, I mean, to 1cc it might be easier than UFO, but in terms of like actual dodging patterns, this game is much tougher than UFO by far. Not even close. I think the only thing comparable to this would be like a Lotus Land Story LNN because of all the weird bullshit that game has. Or maybe like a Marissa A DDC LNN. Anyway. Oh, I didn't even talk about the spell. It's Memo, hide behind the moons and do what I did. It's a static pattern, so just memorize the route. I guess I didn't talk about it, but I did show. Oh, guess what? Clownpiece doesn't give you power after that because this game is glitched, so every timeout spell doesn't give you power after you, even if you capture it, because it counts as a timeout. You have to get a shot down bonus in order to get power, and because you time something out, you don't get shot down or something like that. You might be wondering, why does the Stage 5 boss even have a timeout? Because this is LoLK and Pointdevice. And this game is balanced around the Pointdevice, so there's a lot of like, this boss is meant to kill a lot of Pointdevice runs. Like, you're supposed... I'm playing the game how Zune intended to play it. Like, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to go to Pointdevice. You're supposed to play Clownpiece patterns over and over. Well, this whole game's patterns over and over again until you beat it. Like, that's this game. Love it or hate it, that's what this game is. It's I wanna be the guy in Touhou form. Ridiculous patterns, ridiculous everything. Like, I know that Jamer's got a lot of hate for not liking this game, and I'm prepared for the hate. I know I'm gonna get some comments of people really angry at me for not liking this game, but I'm sorry, like, I can't get behind this. All of the weird, bizarre patterns that are really crazy. Like, I just don't like these types of things. Like, this game is too hard. And that's really it. I don't like this game because I just think it's too hard to be fun. Too hard to be fun. I mean, yeah, you could say get good, but I'm also allowed to have opinions. So, I mean, I don't mind its existence in the sense that Zune was definitely just trying new things and pushing boundaries. I mean, when you're with a series for over 20 years, I think, then of course you're gonna try new things. I mean, there's always gonna be that one game, which is this game, and hopefully Touhou 16 will be different. Alright, now for more weird stuff. So, you'll want to memorize the height that these lasers spawn at so you can know the safe spot. You can use the spell card background to tell where the safe height is going to be, which is what I do. You see where the vines intersect right here on this dot right there? That's a good marking as to where the safe horizontal height is. In fact, I think Zune intended that marking on purpose to make it so that you could know where to go, because it just kind of seems weird that there's a specific mark there in the middle of those vines. Feels like it was placed there intentionally so you would know how high to go up on this attack, but maybe it's just there because design. I don't know. But yeah, make use of that height. The stars themselves are pretty random, so that's where the difficulty is going to be. It's not just getting up there that's the problem, it's also you have to move down with the stars, and the stars, you can bump into a star while moving down, like bumping into a star that's below you, because the stars move slower than you do, so you'll still have to dodge stuff from below moving downward. I bumped into Clownpiece. Ugh. I wonder how many retries this is going to have. Well, most of the retries in this run are going to be from the final spell card of the game, so look forward to that. Okay, I will say that it is a good idea, like if the middle is cluttered, to not try to go up through the gaps in the middle, which is something I was trying to do, but I realized I shouldn't be doing that. I should be looking at where the gaps are and using that to determine where to go. And there you go. Alright, now for the laser non-spell, which is completely ripped off of Byakuran. I mean, it's not the exact same, but it's pretty similar. It's a lot easier, to be honest, but I mean, you can't underestimate it. Anything in this game can kill you, so just stream. I mean, don't have, what else is there to say? Okay, this spell, so I try to do this thing where I like, I don't know how to explain this because even I haven't fully figured out how to do this consistently. I have this strat that I learned from replays where you like kind of like go up and around after every wave, but I honestly actually don't know how to do this. But I bet you RB does, so I'll look into asking him later, or looking at his runs. Yeah, I like to do this move around thing, and then after a while I'll try to finish it off maybe? Nope. Guess I'll have to keep doing that around thing. There's an alternate method where you can just alternate between corner and middle, but it takes forever to kill if you do that, so I prefer to damage rush it. You cannot... Zune gave this card enough health that you can't just stream downward the whole time. I mean, obviously Zune would prepare for that, because he wouldn't want you to have this card so easy, would he? Maybe I'll try being more high when I'm going through the gaps, but I still gotta be careful. Honestly, I don't know how to do this. Like, as you could have tell already by how this pattern is looking, it's kind of like that one Sakuna spell where the bullets react to you being near them and then they like stop or slow down. Basically, yeah, that's what happens. The bullet speeds decrease a ton if you're near these bullets. So, you have to make your own gaps. You can't just go through these walls because that's what they are. They're legitimate walls. The spaces between the fire is too small. Like, the thing is that when you're trying to make a gap, you've got to be careful that you can get yourself a gap on the sides. I think I got it. I think I actually figured this out. Okay. So I'm not going to move left or right while I'm... okay. While this is firing, I won't try to move left or right. That way I can assure that there's a huge gap getting out of here. Because if I don't move left or right, I won't activate the bullets on the side, and I can assure that there will be a gap. Alright, I understand it now. Yeah. Just don't move left or right while you're moving down. That way there's an automatic gap every time. Wow, I actually figured something out. Awesome. Now for a completely filler spell card, which I really don't even know why it exists. It's completely easy. It's just the same repetitive motion over and over again. It's really got nothing to it. It's supposed to be some stars and striped American flag thing, but it's filler. No offense, Zune, this is filler. I'm gonna get so many hate comments. Please don't hate. I don't get this spell, or why it exists. It's just weird. It feels empty, it's just lasers, there's nothing else. And it's not even hard, and it usually lasts super long because you can never damage her, so it just feels like a weird spell. And then the stage 5 boss, of course, she's gotta have 2 survival spells. Luckily, both of her survivals are really easy though. Like, this spell itself is pretty easy. I think Jamers compared to it, he said it basically feels like a normal mode spell, and I can agree with that too, actually. Like, it does get faster, but I mean, as long as you're doing your spinning, you'll be fine. I mean, guess I could see why you'd have trouble if you were trying to, like, get the 200 grays on this, but really, I don't know. How much time has passed? I really don't know. Now for a stage which is basically harder than the entire rest of the game combined. This stage 6 is probably one of the most infamous stages in all of Touhou. It starts off with some spirits that you don't even have to kill. just kind of chill. I mean, you can kill him if you want. I won't though, because I don't care. Actually, you can do this entire stage without shooting, so I won't even shoot at all. Then for here, you want to do some circular streaming. God, I'm already getting a bad feeling about this. Then for this part, start at the top right corner, then move to the left, wait a bit, then move to the right, wait a bit, go back to the left, finally, go to the right. Simple. No dodging required. Now for the crazy raindrop section, which kills a lot of people. Here's what I like to do. I try to start somewhere in the middle, or at least a little close to the middle, then restream, and then go the rest of the entire chapter without streaming or restreaming again. So I'll just keep streaming till I get to the edge, and usually I'll have enough time that it'll end before I die. That was lucky, but yeah, sometimes it'll force you to move a lot more than you'd want to, which is what happened there, but I still got away with it somehow. And there's nothing more up to the stage, to the boss, so just chill. This stage is really easy, the stage portion, except for that rain part. I'm gonna try to be nice. Here's our stage 6 boss. Her name is Junko. And she's really difficult. Let's just do this. This episode has already been super long, so let's just try to wrap this up. Already dying, huh? So she starts off with one ring. One tight ring. Yes. Don't underestimate it. It's actually hard to dodge. Then you've got the first spell, which is probably the easiest, not the second easiest thing in the entire fight. So the lasers will appear where the ball, like the laser gaps are in front of the actual balls themselves. So go in between the balls to get your laser gaps. And then for the red wave, just be careful of the very dense waves, which are very easy to spot. The second non is annoying. You gotta go left and then right and then left and then right. There's only one gap, or well, 3 gaps really, because there are 3 rings. But like, basically, yeah, there's one gap, and yeah, you just have to find it. Well, you have to follow it, like it twists. So it's left, right over again. If you dodge one wave, you dodge all 3 waves. So once you get into a safe spot, don't try to adjust your wave to the other waves. Just stay still. Once you get into a safe spot, you'll dodge all 3 waves. This spell is pretty crazy. There's some weird strats on the spell where you stay in the middle, but I honestly do not understand at all how those strats work. I just go to the corner, the farthest corner that Junko is from, because that's the safer one. But it's luck because you can get completely 100% walled on the spell. From what I can tell, like there are legitimately situations where you can get walled in the corner, and I don't know. I say I legitimately believe they are walls. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I mean, I guess I'll try the middle thing, but I don't really know how it works. I mean, the middle thing is used to do more damage on the boss, but I guess I could only imagine it's used whenever Junko is in the middle of the screen. Obviously, some form of memorization must go into this because, like, the lasers kind of spawn instantly, so you kind of have to memorize the positions. But you have to take into consideration how high she is on the screen when she does this attack. So, I mean, you can do the middle strat, but you have to memorize all sorts of combinations, I guess. By the way, if you let any of these balls hit the sides of the screen, you're fucked. You want them to always hit the bottom. Wow, this didn't die after 2 waves. I'm honestly shocked. We got it, though. The third non is an obnoxious little shit. it's hard to explain, but what I like to do is I like to move down with it so I have more time to position myself. Or you could just stay at the bottom and tap, dodge it, but I'm not going to do that. Here's a spell that looks like it would belong in 10 Desires, except it's actually one of her harder spells in my opinion. I often fail this spell, and I don't really know why. It's very dynamic. The normal mode has a clear way of doing it, because there's a clear gap that's visible, but on Lunatic, I don't know. Like, you have to pick one of the 4 corners to go into, but there's no visual cue that tells you which corner to go into, so it feels like just drawing a lottery ticket and hoping that everything works out just okay. Again, I don't understand how to do this. If anyone knows, let me know. I'd like to know how to play this damn game. I guess you can go to the bottom too if you want, but that's kind of risky. You obviously have to start in the center because that's the only way to get a gap at the beginning. But... oh, come on! I hate this spell. I don't want to spend any more time on it than I need to. You can't stay in the middle. You just can't. You'll die. They all move towards the middle, so you have to go to the side. That means you have to dodge at least 3 waves of this spell unless you're really aggressive or going in the middle often. If you can somehow dodge one of these waves in the middle, you can kill this spell in 2 waves, but I never get the chance to do that, so... like there, the gap was very clear because I just got good RNG, but I often don't understand which way to go. I guess you're supposed to analyze based on the RNG, but honestly it just feels like Zune put a bunch of randomness together and expected you to figure it out. I get the feeling with a lot of patterns in this game that was the case. On this attack, you'll have to dodge stuff bouncing off the screen. It's hard to explain how to do this, but it's all about little adjustments and trying to stay under the boss. Dies pretty quickly though, with racing at least. This spell is just utterly pointless because it's legitimately just left, right, over and over again. Like, I don't really understand it, like, why it's even a thing. Feels like filler. No offense. Or maybe offense, I don't know. Now for one of the harder spells. God, I don't even know how to describe this spell. It's too complex for words. You want to be on the left of the purple waves to assure a gap, and then on the right of the red waves to assure a gap. I hope that makes sense. You use the initial positioning of the squiggly lasers to get a gap from the things when they come above the screen. The only problem is the next wave of lasers will spawn in any random angle, so if it spawns at a bad angle, you're fucked. I don't care what anyone says, you're fucked. Now for this spell, start on the bottom right, and then kind of move in a square. You don't have to go all the way to the top of the screen like in Marasa's timeout. Just go to about here, this height, and then just keep repeating. It gets faster as time goes on, but just keep doing your thing. At about right here, you'll want to start slowly moving up and start streaming as you move up because the things aim at you and you want to get out of the thing. And now for the hardest thing in the entire game. Everyone knows what this spell is. I don't even need to explain. Let's just get it over with. You already know what's wrong with this because I'm sure everyone has played this or has seen it before. And if you haven't seen it, then just... oh, I wanted to get it on the first try too. This spell is a spell that could take you hundreds of attempts to capture. Like legitimately, it could take you hundreds of attempts just to capture once. It took me over 100 tries just to capture this once, if I recall. Or actually, I don't even know how long it took for my first capture. Maybe it wasn't 100. I think it was more like 70, but it took a long time. And there's people that have timed this spell out too. I feel like timing this spell out is a really important step in mastery of this game, by the way. I mean, I don't understand it. It's just ridiculous dodging, but maybe there's a method to this madness. I'm not even going to talk anymore because I just want to get this done. This episode could last like an hour longer just because of this attack. Like, if I were to have to bomb, it would have to be on this, because legitimately it could take me like 40 or 50 attempts just to capture this. I have seen streamers spend hours just trying to capture this once, and that's what I was worried about in terms of doing a Pointdevice run, but I've got to try. And oh, why did the bullets have to do that? Why did they have to do that? I would have been fine. And yeah, there's a fourth wave too, which completely traps you in the middle. So there's no point in going to the side on this attack. And don't even try timing it out. This is one of the most difficult spells in all of Touhou, if not, no, this is hands down the most difficult spell card in all Touhou, and I can say that with absolute certainty. Much harder than the Yatahashi spell, much harder than Remelia's bullshit. This is the pinnacle of, like, difficulty in terms of Touhou dodging. I don't think there's any part in any Touhou game that is hard, except for some Gengetsu rape time thing, but that doesn't even count. This is most certainly harder than books. It's legitimately the hardest thing in Touhou. Unless you count weird, obscure timeout phases, but I'm not going to count those. The worst part is that nothing happens on the very first few seconds of the attack. So kind of annoying in that regard. Raisin has a lot of power, which allows her to kill it pretty fast, but I just shake my head back and forth, honestly. Like, yes, you can get lucky on this, but quote-unquote good RNG is very rare on this attack, so most of the time you play this, you're just gonna have to do it on brute force. Really, there's no other way to do this. You just have to dodge well. Like, either get good human RNG, or just the lucky random 1 in 100 chance of, like, of God RNG on this, which has happened. Gobo Zelenin of this actually has really good RNG on this spell. Pretty crazy to think, but I mean, it's good for him that he got that RNG. Well, he's really good, so he probably would have been able to dodge it anyway, but you have to also consider he probably was nervous, so. Like, I really hope this video isn't too long. I know for a fact we're way past the hour mark, but I don't know how much past the hour mark we are. I'd say we're probably about an hour and 30 minutes in right now. Long game is fucking long. Shout out to anyone who's still watching, honestly. Or for the fools that just skip to this part and watch nothing else. There will be people like that too. Which I don't blame. It's a long, long episode. Legacy mode will be a lot faster because I'll just kind of you know, I only have to go through everything once. Oh, come on! terms of a Let's Play, though, is it really worth just, like, I could commentate, like, if I were to just stop talking and play this for a long period of time, like, let's be realistic about this, shall we? I mean, I want to go through this without bombing, and I have gone through Pointdevice without bombing before, but is it worth the time that it would take to capture this one phase? Like, I mean, I don't know what to talk about, really. And this video could be easily another 40 minutes just because of this spell alone. Like, this spell is just obnoxious to me. Like, I really dislike the fact that it even exists. Like, I just don't understand this entire game. Like, why does everything have to be so mega hard in a way that's like, it doesn't feel like Touhou anymore. Like, yes, Touhou is hard at points and that's fine, but this game goes overboard on the difficulty. I guess it's the game of champions, but it's just, I can't appreciate this game. Maybe I'll be able to appreciate it when I get better at it, and maybe I'll try to get better at it, but I don't know. What was I supposed to do? Tell me what I was supposed to do there, because I don't see it. Well, I can at least appreciate the efforts of some of the people in the West that have played this game a lot, like RB, Neverlasting, and even Zengeku for that matter, who did a timeout of this. Like, there are definitely a few people in the Western community that adore this game and play it a bunch, and although I'll never understand it myself, to each their own. Well, actually, I can understand why someone would like this game. It's precisely because it's so challenging that it would have appeal to people. I mean, getting better at that crazy, infamous game that everyone dislikes. I mean, some people love the challenge. Some people love these types of things, and that's fine. But I don't think you should, like, I think that people should be allowed to dislike this game without being hated on as much. Because I feel like, I know Jamer's got a whole bunch of hate for talking trash about Stage 6. Like, he got a bunch of it too. Like, a lot of people were just, like, being brutal to him in the comments. And I was even shocked myself. I would never thought that Jamers, who was really popular and liked in the community, could have gotten something like that. But, I mean, I could see where Jamers comes from, because I won't be as mean about it, but I also can't get into this game either. I can't say that I like it very much, and I mean, my reasoning is just, it's too hard. His reasonings are probably very different than mine. I'm gonna be honest with you, my fourth episode that was planned was actually going to be me just playing Junko a bunch and talking about the controversies regarding this game. But I might as well just do it here now. I mean, there doesn't need to really be a fourth episode if I'm just going to be rambling on. Though I think that if I don't get this within 30 tries, I'll just bomb, because I want to cap this, but it's not worth it. Like, if it means that this entire thing is gonna last like 30 minutes longer, it isn't worth it. Like, I would have to practice this spell a ton to get even remotely consistent at it, which would mean lots of trying to time it out, and I'm not ready for that. Like, I don't want to play this spell over and over again for hundreds of hours just to get somewhat good at it. Like, being somewhat good at this spell is fairly generous too, because this is a pretty insane spell. Like, it really is quite something. Is anyone still, like, sticking with me? Surely no one could be watching at this point, right? I mean, if you are, hi. How are you? Mysterious person that watched me go through Junko's spell for like 30 minutes. Props to you for being a trooper. What I want to see in a Touhou 16 is basically not this. I want soon to go back to like the PCB days, where a lot of the patterns were a lot more memorization based. Like, there were still some hard parts in PCB like the spam and Yomu's first, but they weren't that frequent, and you know, I didn't mind those. Like, the spam actually kind of made you feel badass for capturing, and I mean, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. Like, I want to see more of like a PCB or an Imperishable Night styled game. Like, there's a trend in Touhou where, starting from DDC, Zune had a lot of weird, clunky RNG patterns that are really, really, really hard to deal with. DDC was tolerable because you had broken shots to compensate, but you can really feel the effect of DDC if you play it with the B shot. Like, you can really feel the effect of Zune's new pattern design trend. Like Kagero, Seija, Yatahashi, like... The game is rough. Very rough if you're not using a broken shot. And if this game had something like a Gohei Reimu, it would be a lot more tolerable too, but this game doesn't, so you're basically stuck with the shots that are all kind of mediocre. I mean, Reimu's not too bad herself, but she's definitely not the glorious that she was in UFO or Tenazires or PCB. Maybe I'm just a wimp. Maybe I just need to get good and toughen up, but I'm sorry, I can't get into this. But, I mean, some people can. Props to you. I'd really like to see a LoLK LNN in the West, and I think Everlasting in RB could do it. I won't. I'll never try for it. I may finish SA. I need to finish SA, honestly, but I just can't go back to it. Like, I just have no more motivation. Like, really, the only times I ever play Touhou is if I'm beta testing testing out Shattered Sky, which is a fan game that I'm part of the development team in, or doing the LPs. Like, I really haven't really been that motivated for Touhou recently, and I don't really know why. Well, yeah, no, I want to capture this, even if this takes 30 minutes. I want to capture this. I want to get it captured for completionist's sake. I went this far without bombing. Can I just finish it like I am? Can I just finish this without bombing? I suppose that means I've got to focus, don't I? Well, my mother used to call me a chatterbox. That was my nickname. So, I myself I can always find something to talk about. I could talk for 3 hours, I could talk for 10 hours straight, and I could just bounce off random topics over and over again. I am truly a chatterbox, which I think is good for Let's Plays. But, well, I don't know. I'll give it one more try, but I need to wrap this up. I don't know when I'll end up capturing this. It could be in 30 minutes, it could be in an hour, it might be in 5 minutes if I'm really lucky, but fortunately, I just need to wrap this up. I don't understand Zoom. No, I understand. I understand what you're going for. This is the last pattern in your game. So of course, you want to make it mega hard. I understand that. But why? Why this hard? Like, rings that you have to dodge in the middle of crazy random BS? Like, Zune. Zune? No. Like, no. I even tried to bomb again. Like, oh, Raisin's bomb, by the way, yes, it's a shield thing, and your hitbox gets bigger during it. It gets bigger depending on how many shields you have up, I think. You get 3 hits, the shield wears off at the end of the stage. It's a pretty broken bomb for survival, but pretty good considering what this game is. Wanted to try to capture, but I might as well just not even move. It wasn't worth it. I've already no-bombed this Pointdevice anyway. I'm exhausted. I have nothing more to say. Need to rest my voice and my brain after that. Well, next time, this legacy mode. I'll try to be more enthusiastic next time if I can. For now, I'm just gonna take a break. Let there be happy future Earthlings.